Hello, this is Veronica, and this is a very brief introduction to the Advanced Language Teaching Technology Enhanced Creative Writing in a Foreign Language module. We'll talk more about the specifics of the module when we meet each other next week, but at the moment this is a bit of an overview so you know what you can expect. So welcome everyone. Right, so since we're going to work on stories, all starts with my story, basically. And I've always enjoyed writing, always since I was a little kid. And well, I used to write all these stories in Spanish and in Catalan, because I'm originally from Barcelona. And then I came to England, and because out of this need of expressing myself and just this need that I had to write, I started writing in English, and obviously very badly at first with loads of mistakes, but I still kept writing until my writing started getting better. And it's not only because my English was better that my writing became better. Sometimes I saw that it was the other way around, that the fact that I was sitting and stretching my vocabulary, my grammar, my imagination to write in a foreign language, that was helping me to learn English. So when I became a language teacher, I teach Spanish in the University of Nottingham. I thought that I wanted to add all these creative writing skills, creative writing tools that I had learned myself, I had experimented with myself into my teaching and my classroom. So this is how everything started, and it has developed in many different ways. So can you teach creative writing? Well, I believe you can, so otherwise I wouldn't be here. I learned creative writing not just on my own, but I did a postgraduate certificate at Newcastle University, and then afterwards an MA at the University of Nottingham. And the writer I was before and the writer I became after was somebody completely different. And yes, it's sometimes you wonder, well, there's nobody questioning that if you want to become a musician, you go to music school and you are taught all the techniques and you practice and then you become a musician, and it seems pretty much accepted. However, when you say you want to become a writer, there's this, I don't know, it's a bit of a taboo word, and it seems like you either have this gift or you don't. It's not something that you can learn, but actually all these techniques can be learned. Of course, the talent, of course, the motivation, and this desire to write and all that, it needs to be inside you. But yes, you can learn to be a writer. There's so many techniques, very objective techniques that you can learn to become a writer. And in our classrooms, maybe not everyone wants to become a writer. However, they're going to learn these techniques, and that is going to have an impact onto their development, their language development. And sometimes it's much easier when you know the technique rather than just offer a creative writing task in class and nobody really knows where to start, and then they start saying, oh, I don't have imagination. So all these techniques, really, they're really good tools for students as well and for teachers to use in class. Right, our programs. So since probably we all agree that creativity is so important to language learning and teaching at a variety of levels, using creative writing activities. And when I talk about creative writing here, there's so many different definitions, but precisely I'm going to talk about artistic creation or fiction, poetry, script writing, all this more artistic way of writing. So Yes, when using in the classroom, when you use it in the classroom, has so many benefits for both learners and teachers. And these benefits expand from the purely linguistic aspect, so the improvement of the four skill areas, to the creative aspects, some transferable skills, and also the personal aspects, included an increased confidence and motivation in learning and using the language. And technology is the other part of the equation, enhances the creative experience in a foreign language by providing learners with safe platforms where they can experiment with language, they can develop their creativity and share their progress with others, which is very, very important, as you all know by now. It also allows feelings of ownership and freedom and increased motivation for their language learning. And this module is very experimental, it's very hands-on module, and we're going to create this space for learning, for experimenting, for discussing how learners can develop and improve their language skills in the foreign language through the medium of technology, enhanced creative writing. We will be working mainly with blogs. That could be where we will be focusing on, and we'll be working with audio, with video materials, forums, open mic sessions. And from the creative point of view, we're going to work with mainly fiction and short stories, because that's what I can teach you better, because I am a fiction writer. And autobiography, short story, script writing, many other modalities. The module is divided in three parts. The first one consists of an exploration of the theory behind the role of both creative writing and technology-enhanced creative writing in language learning. So we'll be discussing. The second part includes a series of workshops where we will learn how to use all these creative writing techniques. So basically, we're going to become writers. We're going to forget we're teachers, we'll become writers. We are going to learn the techniques and the tools. We experiment ourselves with this, all these creative writing techniques. And then third part that we'll incorporate from the beginning anyway, we'll stop, we'll step aside, we'll look at our work, and then we'll reflect and see how all these tools, these creative writing techniques, can be used in a language classroom. What sort of activities could you do? What level? What sort of platform would you use for that? Are there any benefits in regards to feedback, for example? We'll be discussing all this, but mainly it's a very, very, very hands-on module and very experimental. I'm not going to give you all the answers. There's very, very little written about creative writing in foreign language and technology use. So we'll be figuring it out as we work along. So the first 3 weeks, and if you can have a look at the module timeline posted on Moodle, the first 3 weeks we'll be talking about it's a bit of theory, but mainly discussing creative writing in the language learning and teaching, and precisely blogging and how blogging affects or can enhance this creative writing experience in a foreign language. Then for 4 weeks, week 4, 5, 6, 7, actually, and 8, for 5 weeks, we are going to become writers, and we are going to work on the workshop, which is something very interesting to apply later on in the classroom, either online classroom or a physical classroom. And towards the end, then we'll reflect about how can we bring all those ideas into the classroom again. We'll just put everything together, everything we've been discussing and learning and reading. And the last week, we'll have a little presentation with your projects, and we'll have a feedback session, and we'll say goodbye, I guess. And then you'll get on with your final projects, etc. We'll talk a little bit more about the assessment when we see each other, but basically there are two pieces of assessment. The first one is a creative writing portfolio. So you will submit some creative writing activities of your choice that you've been working on during the module. And you'll write a short reflective essay on them, where you will establish that link between the development of your own creativity and its pedagogical applications in the language classroom. And the second assessment will be either a written essay or a video, or if you are very, very creative and you can use any other platform, just discuss it with me and I'm sure it will be okay. And that will be on the topic that you choose. Something I want you to write, or you to work on something that really, really interests you and that you think that you can apply later on in your professional work. And workload. Right, this is what you can expect. We're going to write one complete story in 2 drafts. So we'll write 1 draft, we'll send it to everyone, we'll read it, we'll provide feedback, we'll have a workshop where we'll discuss this story, and then you'll have the opportunity to redraft it, to write it again, submit it again to the group, we'll discuss it again, and then you might want to write a 3rd version. Of course, it's not about writing your story, but about reading everyone else's stories and provide written or video feedback. Every week there will be readings and discussion, and there will be creative writing, specific creative writing exercises to practice the specific technique that we are learning every week. So some weeks will be, we start learning how to write the beginning of a story. We'll work on character building, point of view, use of details, plot, many different aspects. So every week there will be some exercises to practice all these techniques. Then we'll keep a personal blog that some of you must have started already, and we'll follow each other's blogs and write commentaries. And then this is the assessment I was talking before. First one is a creative writing portfolio with commentary. And the second is this written essay or video on your chosen topic. And welcome again. I'm very excited about this module. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all and to learn a lot from you. And if you have any question, just please write me an email or on the forum, or you can just ask me live when we see each other on, next week. Well, thank you very much. See you soon.